But I say this on September 3rd. I'm going to make a statement to you, Tiki. It's a statement I made on April 3rd. It's a statement I made on March 3rd. And while many Yankee fans in the audience will ghost in disgust, it was a true statement in April, and it's a true statement in September. I watched you guys against the Astros. I've even watched you guys against the Red Sox, who you've struggled against. I'm watching the Mets win a series in Detroit. We'll see if it's a sweep or not. And I will tell you definitively on September 3rd, despite what many in the media will tell you, despite what some of your fans will tell you, despite even what your brain tells you once in a while, the New York Yankees are the best team in the American League. They are the team to beat. And what I ask to anyone who's aghast at that comment is, tell me where I'm wrong. The Blue Jays aren't better than you. I'm watching the Tigers. They're not better than you. We watched the Astros last night. Framber Valdez, the ace, is trying to injure his catcher because he's so pissy about giving up a grand slam to Trent Grisham. Like, I'm sorry. I know you guys are still emotional over losing a lot of series to good teams, but I told you then, and I'll tell you now, it doesn't mean anything when you look at the roster, when you look at the rotation, when you look at the lineup, when you look at everything. It ain't the Astros. It ain't the Blue Jays, it ain't the Tigers, and it ain't the Red Sox. The New York Yankees are the best team in the American League. Tell me when I'm telling lies.
You're not telling lies, Evan. You're absolutely right. They are the best team in the American League. They were the best team when the season started, even despite losing Juan Soto. They were the best team a quarter of the way through the season, halfway through the season at the All-Star break. They are the best team. The problem is they don't play like the best team consistently enough. If they put it all together like they do at times, especially against bad teams, but even as like they did last night against the Houston Astros, who the hell's beating them? Nobody, right? If Jazz Chisholm is dialed in, guess what? Nobody's beating them. If Aaron Judge is Aaron Judge in the postseason, nobody's beating them. Giancarlo Stanton, we know it all. And like we don't even talk about their pitching enough sometimes because we get frustrated with how inconsistent the last month has been, but Max Fried was phenomenal yesterday.
Right.
And he wasn't perfect, but you know what? He knew his stuff wasn't on to start, so he just give me some ground balls. Let me get through these first couple innings till I find my stuff. And then guess what? He found it and pitched 6 innings. Same thing goes for Carlos Rodon, who we don't even talk about enough because we have this, I don't know, this like maybe this tortured early history from when he first got here, and it just wasn't what we thought we were paying for. But there's 2 guys in Major League Baseball that have 15 wins. They're both Yankees, right? And Cam Schlittler has turned into this phenom coming out of the minor league. So the Yankees rotation is set. They got clutch players. They got star players. They have role players because Trent Grisham has turned into, I don't know, a second coming of himself. And then you look at this team and it's you wonder how they lose. But then you see them play. And it's like, oh, that's why. Because Anthony Volpe, you forgot how to be a shortstop. And we blunder on the bases because, you know what, it's just we're taking it easy, lackadaisical. And so this is why when people start getting frustrated with the Yankees, they don't necessarily get frustrated at the players, Volpe notwithstanding. They get frustrated at the manager because how does a good team with all of this talent just seem like they're laissez-faire too often?
Right.
That's leadership. That's management. And so Boone takes a lot of this heat because he's not forceful. He's protecting his players. I mean, just a case in point, and we briefly hit this, and we've talked about it really for the last 2 months, but the fact that Anthony Volpe was allowed to feel like he was okay is not okay. Right? He'll be fine. He's a good player. He'll hit. These errors are an anomaly. He's a good shortstop. No, he's not. Right? When you have 15 or 16 errors, whatever the heck it is at this point, I missed some games when I was away in Greece, so I don't know if it's even more. But you know what my point is? They made it seem like it was okay. It is not okay. And you need to sometimes be told, and told publicly or expressed publicly by not playing, that you're not good enough.
I think that is an absolutely fair critique of this manager and the issues that Volpe went through during the season. All fair game. And I am not telling you here in the first 7 minutes of the show that the Yankees are flawless. Of course they have flaws. They are not a perfect team. I'm not arguing that they're even better than last year's team, or they're the 98 Yankees, or they're anything else.
Well, they don't have Juan Soto, so they can't be better than last year's team, right?
And it doesn't matter because they're not facing last year's team. So it's irrelevant. You don't have to face the ghosts of the past.
Right.
What I simply argue, just as a baseball fan, just as a guy who sits there and watches a lot of baseball and watches your team play the Yankees, watches the Mets play, just watches baseball, I don't think the Detroit Tigers are better than you. I don't think the Toronto Blue Jays are better than you. And despite the Red Sox success against the Yankees, look, I have minimized the Red Sox all year long. They deserve credit. And so I'll give it to them. They have had a wonderful year. They have defied my expectations. I'm probably going to be wrong, and they're going to be a playoff team.
Right.
So I'll give them the flowers. But I'll stand by the fact I think the Yankees are a more talented team. And they got major questions right now. Roman Anthony, who's going for an MRI today, and Garrett Crochet, who gave up 7 runs yesterday. The Yankees are better than their competition. And I'm going to give you a spoiler alert, a little spoiler alert for you. When we're sitting here a month and a half from now, and the Yankees go on another deep October run, the haters and the losers are going to tell you, who'd you beat? The teams are bad. I'm not telling you that because I don't care who I beat.
Right.
Go beat who's in front of you. I never said that about the Yankees last year. Haters and losers did. Oh, it's the Royals. It doesn't count. It's the Guardians. It doesn't count. It all counts. When I look around at this league, and it's not about knocking the American League. You may hear that. I know Shaun is hearing that right now. I'm mocking the American League. I'm not. I'm talking about your competition. Name me a team in the American League who has a better 1-2 punch than Max Fried and Carlos Rodon. You going to give me Bayo and Crochet? Is that going to be your response?
You lose both games in that case.
I don't feel that way. Max Fried won Game 6 of the World Series. When has Garrett Crochet done that other than an episode of MLB The Show?
You know what I mean? You're more confident in Max Fried than Garrett Crochet in a 1-game off?
I'm more confident in that top 2 than the top 2 I just named in Boston. Tariq Schoolball's great. What about after him?
You're thinking about this in the wrong way.
I'm not thinking about it in any wrong way.
You are.
How about Toronto?
Who
is their edge?
Okay. How should he be thinking about it?
Evan, this is very simple. On paper, are the Yankees the most talented team in the American League? If that's the conversation we're having, sure, they are. It's about being the best baseball team in the American League. And the ultimate goal of getting to a World Series, winning a World Series, involves playing the game of baseball. The Yankees will not have a managerial advantage in any of these series versus any of these teams.
In any of these series.
Okay, you want to say
in any of
not
these
the
series?
Tigers? I don't think they have a better manager than the Blue Jays. They don't have a better manager than the Red Sox.
What is
Aaron Boone won?
He's gotten to a World Series. What has John Schneider won? Like now all of a sudden John Schneider's got a managerial edge on Aaron Boone?
Before,
Are you serious?
I didn't say edge. I don't think Boone has a clear edge on him. I don't. Okay, that's number one. Number 2.
Does he have a Joey Espada? Does he have an edge?
Think about this.
A.J. Hinch is the one, of course. I'm not going to argue A.J. Hinch.
A.J. Hinch and Cora?
Those are 2 guys. What about the other guys
Those
I just
are 2
mentioned?
guys out of the 5
Bro,
you got to see.
You just said, you could rewind on the Odyssey app,
yes.
they will not have an edge in any series. I just named 2 of them.
Yeah, and I don't believe that Boone has a clear edge on. You want to call it even? Fine. Aaron Boone has not proven that he has an edge on any of those guys. And I don't even dislike Aaron Boone. It's the truth.
Shaun, he managed the team to the World Series last year.
Great.
When has John Schneider done that?
Okay, if John Schneider with this year's Blue Jays team was playing last year's Royals and Guardians, does he manage them to the World Series?
Come on, you're using the same argument the haters and losers are.
No, I'm not, Evan, because
But is he wrong? That's the question. He's using a bad argument, but is he wrong about it?
It's more nuanced than that. It's easy to talk about paper. And you want to bring up the Yankee rotation. And I am pumped up about what we've seen from Cam Schlittler, and I love Max Fried. But you know how this goes in Major League Baseball, bro. You play a playoff series and you throw ace versus ace in game 1. Man, the Yankees, we've seen them time in and year out get shut down by aces and spoil ace-like efforts from their own guys. You lose that Max Fried game and you're sitting there going, we got Carlos Rodon in game 2. Who the hell is confident in that?
Who is confident in Brian Bayo? Who's confident who the Tigers are starting
I would be more confident in those guys shutting down the Yankee lineup because the Yankee track record shows you that they, and especially in Bayo, they cannot touch these guys. That's all I'm saying. So
yeah,
yes.
but it's different though because we don't know what Cody Bellinger is going to look like in the postseason.
I agree about Bellinger.
Right? We don't know what Trent Grisham. Hell, nobody knew what Trent Grisham was going to look like. Looks like that Juan Soto to the Yankees trade with Trent Grisham was the best trade in Major League Baseball history.
Uber clutch.
Both of those guys are clutch right now when both teams need it. But like we don't know what Trent Grisham's going to look like. We have no idea.
I agree.
You know what? We don't know what Paul Goldschmidt's going to be like. We don't know.
I think I know what Aaron Judge is going to be like. Unfortunately. I think I know what Austin Wells will probably be like.
But you know what you're doing? You know what you're doing? And this is why...
I'm bringing up obvious points is what I'm doing.
No, I'll tell you exactly what you're doing. And we all do this to a degree. And this is why it's great to check each other. You guys did a wonderful job of checking me when Aaron Rodgers got hurt 2 years ago. And I was like, it's all right. We won a game. We can still be a playoff team. Your emotions, good and bad, by the way, block your vision.
Right.
So sometimes we're so positive about our team, our vision is blocked. And in this case, sometimes we're so negative. What the hell has Vladimir Guerrero Jr. proven in October? You can sit here and cite Aaron Judge's struggles, and I know the Yankees, and they do this and they do that. What have the Blue Jays proven?
Okay, fair point.
What have the Red Sox proven outside of Alex Bregman?
Fair point.
No, but that's my point.
What have the Juan Soto-less Yankees proven in this era? Nothing.
No, but that's
as
not,
well.
But that's not fair to Tiki's point about a guy like Cody Bellinger.
Mm-hmm.
Cody Bellinger shouldn't fall victim to the errors of the past.
No. So why? Hold on. You're saying that they're definitively the best team in the American League, and all I'm saying is if your arguments are, we don't know what Cody Bellinger and Trent Grisham are, but we also don't know what Vladimir Guerrero Jr. are, we have to see.
What I'm saying...
And I also think, one more thing, it's preposterous, and I'm using a big word there, to have this argument off of one 6-0 win off the Astros where the Yankees have beaten down all the bad teams when we know how they played versus...
You know why that's not fair?
Can we discuss
Shaun,
this in 11 days and see how they match up again?
That's not fair, and I apologize because we've all taken our vacations, so I forget who was here. But the day after the Yankees beat the Red Sox on Sunday night, and they lost 3 out of 4, I sat here and said, look, I'm going to say something very unpopular, but I really believe it. The New York Yankees are better than the Boston Red Sox.
Right, I disagree with you. I told you they will not beat them in a postseason series.
So don't tell me I'm saying this off of a victory. I have said this to you since April, May, June, July, and even when you lose to good teams, I don't overrate it. I don't judge a season based on that because let me give you another little stat for you. Despite all the issues the Yankees have had this season, they are not only 2.5 games behind Toronto for the AL East, they're 2.5 games behind Toronto for the #1 seed in the American League.
Which is important for the
Tiki,
Yankees.
the Yankees are right there to having the best record in the league, despite everyone tell us for weeks and months they're frauds, they can't beat good teams, they're not any good, they should sell guys off. Yeah. That's what I heard.
But it's so nothing you're saying is wrong. In fact, I would agree with you. But there's a nuance, there's a circumstantial nature to this conversation that matters.
Go ahead.
And we knew it from 2 weeks ago, before I left for Greece. We talked about the Yankees' upcoming schedule. It is the second or third or whatever it was, easiest in all of Major League Baseball. Now, there is a stretch here, and they're going through it right now, that is going to pit them against some quality and tough opponents. They are off to a good start because they beat the Astros in Game 1 of this series. But after this little stretch, it gets easy. Right? You said it yesterday.
Yeah.
They should and probably, maybe they won't, but whatever. They could sweep 13 games in a row.
They won't, but they could. Yes.
Right. I mean, they probably won't, but you never know. Right? So, circumstantially, there is a nuance to why the Yankees can get the #1 seed, can win the division, but again, it doesn't make you feel confident that they're the best team in baseball.
You don't have
American
to be
League, at least.
confident. Confident is an individual belief. I'm just telling you cold, hard facts. I look at the rosters of all these teams. I'm watching the Tigers right now, and I don't mean to slight them. They are a good team. They're a good team. The Blue Jays are a good team.
Of course.
The Astros are a good team. I think the Yankees are better. And I can back it up with, I think their lineup is better than any of those teams I mentioned. I love the top 2 guys in the rotation. I have to take an L on Rodon. He's a guy who I didn't trust either. And I think a big part of it was the first impression he gave all of us. It was such a horrible first year, the injuries, the kiss blowing in Anaheim. Carlos Rodon has answered the call.
But you trust him in a playoff series?
I would trust him more than the other 2s that we're talking about. And you just mentioned not being able to beat aces. You beat one last night.
Sure. Okay.
Framber Valdez is the Astros Game 1 postseason starter, and you beat him so badly, he tried to kill his catcher. That's a little bit of an exaggeration, but you know what I mean with the on-purpose cross-up. The Yankees are more talented. Now, I get the way baseball is. Baseball's a tricky game. It's why winning the division is important. You can go into a best-of-3 series against the team you're better than and easily lose. I acknowledge that. That's why winning the division is important.
Right.
But I look at these rosters, man, and I'm just being honest. I got no ulterior motive here. I don't have the scars either, and I admit that. I don't have the emotions that clearly Shaun has. The Yankees are better. They're better than the Tigers. They're better than the Astros. They're better than the Blue Jays. And they have a realistic chance. In fact, I put my money on it that they're going to end this regular season with a better record than all of them. And 162 is going to prove me right, despite the bumps and the roller coaster rides they put you guys on.
So just remember this and keep it in a capsule. I'll respect your opinion here. But when the team on paper, the paper champion Yankees, are making base running blunders and Volpe's still getting trotted out there, not being able to turn double plays and going down to one knee, and remember that when they are eliminated because of that you thought they were a better team. Because that stuff doesn't show up in the stats. That's the problem with the Yankees.
I am not disputing that doesn't exist, okay? Don't take it as that. Of course, it's a part of who they are.
Of course. They're flawed.
They're a flawed team. I said that at the beginning.
But almost every team is in some capacity.
I think they have less flaws than the Tigers. I think they have less flaws than the Blue Jays. But those flaws, yes, could they rear its ugly head in a best-of-5 series? Absolutely. Now, as far as Volpe is concerned, I want to be fair to Anthony Volpe. I want to be an umpire here. He made some really good defensive plays last night, did he not?
Evan.
Well, I'm sorry. Yes or no? Do you disagree with me?
Okay.
But he's supposed to. I think that's what Shaun is thinking. It hasn't said yet.
If they don't get that grand slam last night and they lose the game, we're again going to be talking about how Anthony Volpe couldn't turn a double play down on one knee. It was a horrendous play.
The one that bounced off his stomach in the first inning?
Yes.
That's a tough play.
Evan,
I don't think he's turning a double play on that.
He's a Gold Glove shortstop.
He's supposed to be a Gold Glove shortstop that leads shortstops in errors, and they keep running him out there when Caballero could play short. That is going to bite them in the ass. They are not going to get away from that, and they are not going to be rewarded for that. It is going to wreck them. We know it. So let's stop lying to ourselves.
Look, I think that Aaron Boone would be wise to play his best players. And there's a really good chance that by the time we get to a best-of-5 or best-of-3 series, Jose Caballero is their best option at shortstop. I made the point yesterday on the program, I would have started Caballero over Volpe.
Right.
Now, we ended up seeing what happened. Caballero started at third, got ejected, so it wouldn't have lasted. But that's a day-to-day proposition, and there are going to be days I disagree with Aaron Boone on that.
Is that his second ejection this year? Didn't he have one earlier?
Caballero already?
Didn't he argue something at second base and scream at the second base umpire, and then he got ejected? Am I thinking of somebody else?
I don't remember that one, but maybe you're right.
I don't remember.
Either way, that comes from the manager, because the manager knows how to yell. And he wasn't wrong, because last night's home plate umpire was all over the place. But I look at this team, a flawed team. Okay? Not a perfect team. And yes, you worrying that the little things will kill them in a big spot. With all of that said, they're better than Toronto. They're better than Detroit. Let's stop overrating all the teams around us while picking out the pimples of our own team and say, see, we're flawed. Of course they're flawed, but they're still better than them.
Yeah, but the challenge to what you're saying is that when we see these teams go head-to-head with the Yankees, these other teams come out on top. These other teams find ways to win these regular season games. And so as a Yankee fan, the only thing you can do is assume that that's also what's going to happen if and when they get to the postseason.
Here's the problem, though, with that logic is I understand it, and Shaun has said it, too. Look what they do against good teams. Okay, let's take a look at the next 6 games. Houston and Toronto. Forget Detroit. They're a good team, but that really means nothing. If they go out at Yankee Stadium over the weekend and they beat the Toronto Blue Jays 2 out of 3, despite all their struggles against them earlier this season, does that cure all your fears?
No, they got to sweep them.
That's so they win 2 out of 3. It's not good enough.
All the Jays have done is sweep the Yankees nonstop. Yes, the Yankees got to sweep them.
So
and get a little pride
that one
back.
swing game difference is the difference between you believing they can beat them in a best-of-5 and not?
Yeah. So and
That's
also
asinine.
No, it's not asinine. Also, 2.5 still a big deal. Blue Jays keep winning these games the last couple nights. They need to do more than just gain one game this weekend.
Well, that's different. That's a mathematical argument, and that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about your confidence in beating good teams. It's a slippery slope when Tiki says, well, they haven't beaten the good teams. Well, what if they do this week? What if they win 2 out of 3 against the Astros and the Blue Jays? Does that cure all of the worries that you guys built up on yourself for the last 3 months?
I gave you a number. I told you it's about the full 12 games. They got to go 8-4. This is their stretch. They're off to a good start. You want to have this conversation, and I will gladly do it. If they go out there and they show, you know what? We have exercised our demons. We are playing the best baseball at the right time, and we are beating the teams all of you said we could not beat. I'm with you. That's when I got to put the shoes and socks on one at a time and go, I may be wrong about this Yankee team, but it's one night versus Houston, and I'm not ready to buy yet.
It's not one night versus Houston. It's the fact that despite all of these issues,
right,
they're 2.5 games back, and they're better than all these teams.
And they just beat their ace. By the way, I was correct about Jose Caballero. August 20th, ejected for arguing a caught stealing at second base. So this guy's a hothead.
Yeah,
I like that.
I do like it.
Who's against that?
Not at all.
We'll get your calls coming up, 888-808-1019, the toll-free number. I've thought this way about the Yankees since March. They're just the best team in the American League. Doesn't mean it's by a million miles. But right now, I look at everybody. They're better. They're better than Boston. They're better than Houston. They're better than Detroit. And yes, and I have a feeling they're going to prove it in a big way this weekend, they're better than Toronto.